Hello, everybody. My name is Jens. I am one of your co-hosts here in Korko Academy, on Korko Academy, rather. And today I thought I'd make a video much different to the one that I made in the beginning. This is gonna be much more akin to a Steph video. It's gonna be a vlog, and I'm gonna be all over the place. I'm gonna stumble over my words. There are gonna be many uhs and ehs all throughout, I guess. There's gonna be my cat here. And yeah, I'm just gonna talk about some things that recently have been happening in my life and how I deal with that, how I try to, face seemingly insurmountable problems and some things that I've been working on in my free time, which I have a lot of, admittedly. Too much, if I'm being honest. So, okay, let's start with some things that happened. I landed a job at as customer support via telephone, email, all that kind of stuff. So we had to go through training, all the ones that were selected, and so I got sent equipment, and I hooked it up, and I did one day of training, and then it was rescheduled for next week. So next week I did 2 days, and then on the third day I was like, what's going on? I felt really weird. I felt like I couldn't concentrate on anything that the instructor was saying. But not that I was sick or anything like that. It was just like it didn't mean anything to me. I can't really describe this in a way that doesn't make me sound lazy, so maybe I'm just like a lazy motherfucker. I don't know. But it felt so beyond me, like mentally, spiritually, so beyond me. And I decided to quit the job. Now, at the time, I had some goals planned. Sorry for my voice if it sounds a bit weird. I'm a bit sick still. I've been for a couple days, or almost a week now. Anyway, so I had set out some goals. I wanted to accumulate some money with the goals in mind. One long-term one being to move to Cabo Verde. You know what that is? It's a set of islands in the Atlantic Ocean that where they play this wonderful music called Morna, which I'm a huge enthusiast of, and I want to go there and play that music and possibly immigrate there. We'll see. Anyway, that's a long-term plan, but I needed 3 or 4 thousand euros to put this plan into action. So a more short-term, more immediate goal for me was to get a custom suit. So, like get a velvet tailcoat, or, some sort of clothing, a set of clothing articles of that sort of kind, like a tailcoat, a shirt, and some trousers, slacks, all that, which would cost me about 1,000 euros. And since the salary, the monthly money that I'd get from the job was 1,000 bucks, I thought, well, okay, you can last a month and you can leave. Then, if it was so hard for me, because I know myself as a person who doesn't like doing jobs that have nothing to do with music, which is, what I am. I'm a musician, if you didn't know that. So I said, okay. But then when I felt that this has nothing to do with me, I'm in the wrong place, what is this? I physically couldn't concentrate, and I blocked, like I mentally blocked the stuff that was being taught to me by the instructor. So I thought, okay, well, let's assume you do quit this job. What does the future hold, man? You're 20 years old now. I am 20 years old as of November 3rd. What am I gonna do? Like, you're not a kid anymore. You're not 16. You need to have a job. I'm still at my parents' house. I'm living in my parents' house. What does the future hold in store for you? And it's not that I have immediate need for money, because I'm not a person who has huge expenses. I mean, I do buy stuff like I'll get a cool like bow tie maybe, or I'll get, you know, like something like a fountain pen. I'll get stuff, but I don't need this stuff. The only thing that I need is the guitar strings that I use, but I don't burn through them fast enough to be in a serious hurry to get money, right? And my family's relatively okay doing in terms of money, so that's not the issue. The issue is what about the future, man? You know, like someday your parents are gonna die. Uh, you know, you don't want to be living off. You know, you don't want to be parasitical, living off your friends or anything like that. You want to be an adult, even in that dreaded regard of making your living. And I mean, thinking about this for there are two ways to think about this problem, right? So the one way, which I have thought to death, um, or I have thought in this way for a long time and in detail, is okay, the world is against me, and in many ways it is. I mean, look, I live in a city called Thessaloniki in Greece, and there are very, very few live stages, possibly even less, like, how would you call this? Restaurants that support live music. So there aren't really many ways to make a living this way. In fact, even for the people who play relatively popular kinds of music, things are very, very tough, and they have to rely on weddings and all that kind of stuff. For people who play traditional Greek music, all that jazz. For me, I play weird music. I play my own songs, which are mostly folk, Scottish folk, American folk influenced, or then morna or tango music from Argentina. So things are even harder for me, or would be. And so the city's against me in that regard. People don't give you money when you play on the street. It's very, very, very. It's not very hard. It's impossible to make a living out of that. You either have to be parasitical and make money off the street, so it doesn't really solve the problem, or I don't know. It just doesn't work, especially with the kinds of music I play. When I used to play more listener friendly tunes that require less concentration to actually enjoy, you know, like classic pop tunes, or some of my songs that have a much more that are much more listener friendly, I'd get more money. But again, this is a very, I mean, busking, playing out of the street, that is a very uh, season specific job. You can do it very well in the summer, you can do it well in the spring, you can do it fall, not so much, winter definitely not, your hands freeze, you can't finger pick, you can't even play with a pick after a certain amount of time if it's real winter. The cold, the possible rain ruins your days. It's not, you know, you can't have a reliable schedule. It's just, so it doesn't solve the problem altogether. Now, can you mix and match these solutions to make a coherent plan? Maybe. I wouldn't bet on it, honestly, but I haven't tried it, so I can't say for sure. What I can say for sure is that it didn't, you know, trying all these different things, none of them worked for me, and I have thought in this way of, you know, I gotta move to a different country, which, you know, I might have to, you know, to be honest, it seems perfectly sensible to me that I should move to a different country and try my luck there. That said, if you don't know, I stayed 3 weeks, or not 3 weeks, that was 3 months. I did in Glasgow during the corona epidemic, specifically between 2020 October and January of 2021. It was 3 months, and everything was closed, no pubs, no. Supposedly, you know, Glasgow is the musical epicenter of the world, but everything was closed, so things were pretty bad. Look at the fur that I get on my leg because of the cat. Anyway, and you know, I left. Things were tough. So the other way you can think about this is, okay, even if the world is against you, what are you supposed to do? Right? Because your parents die, people die. Uh, Maybe your parents don't die, but they get fired. You have no money anyhow. What are you supposed to do? What, just blame the world? Blame it all you want. Who's gonna, who's gonna put money, or who's gonna put food on the table? Food on the table, not foot, not put their foot on the table. And this is a much harder way of thinking for me, because I've always thought in the other kind of way. I've always thought that if I manage to analyze what's wrong with the world, then I'll be right. And yeah, I guess I'm right in many aspects, but no food on the table, man. It doesn't get you anywhere being right. There's no point in being right when it doesn't solve your problem, because ultimately what you're trying to do, what you should be aiming at, is to solve a problem. That's all there is. That's all there ever was. Solving a problem, solving a set of problems. And when you can't solve a problem, it doesn't matter if you're right, if you're smart, if you're witty. Well, being witty helps you pass the time easier in defeat, but you know what I'm talking about. And so I thought, okay, I should get another job probably, but what kind of job? And I guess having worked 3 jobs in my life that were totally not music related, I'm starting to figure out that I'm not very good at them. I don't have the drive for them, and knowing that my parents can provide for me, can support me, I find it extravagantly easy to quit a job, even if I got both short-term and long-term goals that I find that are of importance to me. I'm not saying you should quit your job. That's not what I'm saying. This isn't, my kind of way of living is not supposed to be an example for fellow students to follow, or for anybody to follow. It's just, I'm sharing my experiences so that you can maybe learn something from them. Maybe even don't do what I do, if that seems sensible to you. Just, craft your own path, be the hero of your own making, right? But how am I supposed to be the hero of my own making? That's what's been troubling me. I've been watching a lot of Spider-Man lately, trying to, grasp that hero concept. I'm probably going to make a Korko Academy video discussing the hero archetype, what it means to me and how I see it, or part of it. Anyway, I'm getting off track. And this video is getting a bit too long, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to wrap it up soon. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think I'm able to get a job, a normal job that has nothing to do with music, sadly, and keep it. Maybe I can get a job related to music in Greece. Things don't look so promising. Maybe I can use the internet, so I'm gonna start looking into Fiverr options, to make backing tracks for people, or to make voice acting, or how'd you call them, voiceovers for people, because I have the equipment, I know how to use it to a certain extent. I think I can manage it. But other than that, my mother told me, hey, why don't you go to like Portugal, where there is a Cape Verdean scene as well, the Morna scene, because they were, what's the word? I don't remember what the English word is right now. But the Portuguese were the people who discovered Cape Verde and who were the owners of that land for a long time, up to 79, I think. That is 1979. So people from Cape Verde often emigrate or just visit Portugal. So there is a scene, a musical scene there. So my mother told me, okay, why don't you go study something? Why don't you go study music in Portugal, in Lisbon, and you can be around people that you like. You can be studying something. We'll pay for your expenses. You don't have to, you don't have to make a living yet, but just like be somewhere where the world is, or I don't know what the right expression is, where you fit in the world, where there's a place for you in the world. And that's I'm starting to look into that. I'm starting to look into scholarships. I'm starting to look into universities or conservatories or whatever else there is in Portugal. Still, it's too early, so it's all just a bunch of things in my mind that are not clearly defined. It's just a mess. But I'm thinking if the two options are stay here in Greece, in Thessaloniki, where nothing ever happens and nothing is ever going to happen, and I call it a crematorium in the English accent. I don't know why I did a different accent there. But yeah, crematorium, as in Auschwitz, like where there's no hope, there's no escaping it. But there is an escape, right? You can go to a different country where supposedly things are going to be better. A man can always hope. So I'm starting to look into that. I'm still afraid of what I'm going to find and how things are going to pan out, but it's definitely something for me to consider and something for me to look into. Until then, I don't know what I'm going to do. Honestly, I'm kind of lost at this point. I feel similar to how I felt when I came back from Glasgow in January of this year. Because, when I was in Glasgow, I thought, I'm going to get a job as a waiter or somebody, and I'm going to be playing music and all's going to pan out. But I just spent all my money. I came home. Nothing happened. It wasn't smart. Or it didn't work out. I don't know if it was smart or not, but it didn't pan out. I mean, it's not that I regret it or anything. I don't regret it. Some things happened in my life there, and I was taught valuable lessons. For example, I wouldn't be scared at all to go to Portugal right now or to a different country. I'd be like, yeah, sure, okay, let's go, because I know I can handle it. But ultimately it didn't work out precisely in the way that I wanted it to, or in terms of the musical aspect of it. So I'm gonna start looking into all these Portuguese things. I learned some Portuguese on Duolingo, and shouldn't be too hard to get the basics down. I have been studying for a time. I know some basics. It's all right. I'm not really scared of the language or anything like that. I'm scared of, what if I don't find anything? What if I find no scholarships? Because, Portugal is a small country. It's like Greece in terms of population. I'm not sure, but I think it's like 9 or 10 million people, which is pretty much the same as Greece. I'm not very, it's not the same as Spain or the US of A or anything. I'm scared of not finding English speaking things, but I think there's a deeper fear in terms of, I don't know what is going to happen to my future, and I don't know how I'll make a living out of this, or if there are going to be Morna musicians there, which there should be, right? But I'm just so scared, man. I'm really scared. Yeah. So okay, let's end this video here. Just short of 20 minutes. Sorry for wasting your time, everybody, if you didn't find anything interesting, but yeah, this is my life for now, and I wanted to, share this with you in hopes that you win something from this. So thanks for watching, and let me know what you guys think of this. I'll try, or I'll keep trying, and See you in a later video. Goodbye.